What's up, everyone? Today we're going to be doing a Forked Fate guide for AFK Companions. I want to do this because it is a new, addition to the campaign compared to the classic game, and it has a little bit of a twist to it. And that twist is that you can't have more than 2 of your units die while fighting the other team. So basically, if I have 5 people out here and 3 of them die, the round is over and it's done. I lose. And that's important because it really changes the dynamics of how you strategize in this mode, which units you use, and how you really want to go about creating your teams. And so you have seen a priority for certain units go up since this mode has been out. And I think it's really cool because it really opens up a lot of kind of more unique comps that you can build and allows you to use different characters that maybe wouldn't shine as much before. Another thing that's cool about Forked Fate is that the higher your level or the farther you push in the Forked Fate, the more emblem resources you get that you can use for your signature items. And these items are kind of hard to come across in the game outside of buying them with diamonds. And so it's really nice to get these through like a free method. And so that's one reason you should push. The second reason is the farther you push, the more purple essence you get through your AFK means. So if you push really far in the Forked Fate, you will passively gain more purple essence, which is arguably one of the most important things that you need early, mid, and late game. And so you want to be passively getting more essence every day because it just kind of snowballs. If you can get a lot at the beginning, you can push farther and so on and so forth. And so that is making Forked Fate a pretty good priority when trying to focus on certain areas in AFK Companions. If you take a look at the popular heroes list for Forked Fate, you can see that there's units like Taylene, who has a lot of healing and survivability. She literally just doesn't die until the very end. You have Solus, who does a lot of healing, is pretty much gonna be good everywhere, but she's up there. Mishka, who can be hard to kill. Leica has some good buffs. Rowan, healing and energy. Navanthi, like all healing pretty much. Sanja is a unit that keeps her allies alive and can do some healing. Brutus literally can't dive until a certain point in the battle. And then you have other units like Shaltir, who obviously just came out and is already up in the top 15 of units and has a lot of survivability built into her kit. And so you can see that you have units that either are really hard to kill or have a lot of healing. And that's something that you really want to prioritize when building out your teams. You want to find a balance of units that are going to heal your team or really help survive for a long time, and those who, like a typical comp, are going to put a lot of damage out. Because obviously you still have to kill the enemy team. You can't just have 5 healers and just heal forever. You have to kill them. So it's about balancing more of a conservative approach with your team, but also having that damage output where you can eventually kill the other units. I would say in general, you should focus these units because they're just really good units in general. Mishka, obviously one of the best units in the game. Leica, Rowan, Sanja is a beast almost everywhere. Navanthi is pretty good with Wilder Tower, Campaign, Forked Fate, so she's good too. Like, if you build any of these top 7 characters that you can see right now, like, you're not going to regret it because they're good characters. And even if you go and look at like 8, 9, 10, Brutus, you really don't need to build out. Rosaline, amazing unit. Tassie, has some use, but maybe not like highest priority. Shamira is everywhere. Damon, Shaltir, Mahira, you don't really need to build out very much. You just need 1 or 2 copies. Salaki, I think, is a really undervalued mauler that is pretty good. And so these are units, if you kind of look at the list and build anyone in the top 15, you're going to be fine. You're not going to be like, man, I built them for this one mode and they're not useful anywhere. Those are all units that are going to be helpful in some capacity elsewhere that you're not going to regret building out. So if we look at the Forked Fate, I actually just got done with pushing really far for about 1 or 2 chapters. And I'm actually at the point where you have 3 teams that need to survive the death count rule, basically. So no more than 2 can die per battle. And so when kind of scoping out the teams, one thing you want to make note of is having your best units in the battles that have the similar, fighting value up here. So look at the top right. This team has 2,000k, same. And the third one is 13,000. or 1300. And so you'll see that I'll put some of my weaker units in this one, and then my 2 best team comps up here. And so just kind of throwing things together. Let's put Rowan, Shaltir, Thane. Maybe let's toss Sanja in there. We'll use the Owl. And then Belinda. This one is a little questionable, this team, just because there's not a lot of healing going on. But let's try that one. The second team, we're going to do this. Let's toss Taylene up here. Let's put the Doe. And then for the last unit, we're just going to toss Brutus in here because, you know, Brutus just is great. So I might have to swap some of these characters with the first team depending on how they do. And then for my last team, I'm just going to kind of put everyone together that I have left that I think will do well. Let's actually take... Let's take him and put him here. We need at least one unit to carry the team with. And then for my last spot, we can go ahead and put Tassie there. And one thing to note is, as far as the beasts go, like, clearly the deer is just going to be the best because of the healing factor. You can keep your team alive. Deer should be #1 priority when you're just having a single team fighting. And then as you build up, you obviously can't have like 4 deers going. But deer is the best one to use early on and continuing on. And so let's see if this formation works. It might not, because I just got done pushing for a really long time, and now I'm starting to kind of get a point where it's getting kind of questionable. But it looks like this one was great. Good to see. I don't think this one will fail. I'm pretty confident about this one. You can also see the value in Tassie with the sleep. If the team is asleep, they can't kill your units, and then you just kill them. Look at that, no one's dead. And then the last comp should be pretty easy because of the lower value, but you never know. My units are also not great in this comp. Hopefully Gretzel can kind of carry, and Damon. And there you go, boom. Got the first victory. And that's kind of what you want to keep doing. If you face a point where you just can't push any farther, make sure you're doing the typical changes of moving units around. You can even look at the formations that have worked for other people. This can be helpful, you know, just seeing how people are doing it. You're also seeing some people only using 3 units at a time. And this 3 units can be helpful when you have some really powerful units like Awakened Solace, Taylene, and Leica built out. Same here. Or they just work only in certain waves. But it can be helpful because you don't have to worry about your bad units dying. But it's not necessarily. You can use 5 comp teams. Obviously, 5 comp teams, you're going to be pushing out damage a lot more, a lot faster, and you can use different combinations. And so I would lean towards the 5 comp teams, but you can fiddle around with 3 if you think you have some strong heroes that would work. One final thing I wanted to note is that you cannot use your allies' units in this game mode, and so it's all up to you on what you have. But don't be alarmed, because there have been several times where I will just set my thing to auto and I'll crush through like 30 waves without even like making a single adjustment, to my surprise. And so make sure you're trying this. Don't be discouraged by it if it gets a little frustrating, because even the smallest power increases, whether it's increasing 1 unit up 20 levels or kind of having your base levels increase for everyone, it can make a big difference in how far you can push in this game mode. And like I said earlier, purple essence is essential, as well as the emblems for the signature items. So make sure you are not putting Forked Fate on the back burner. But thank y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's helpful. And as always, have a great rest of your day. Peace.